go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go.
What up, folks? Welcome to Vocab TV, and as always, this is your host, MrVocabTV himself, Talik. And sitting to my right, we have hailing out of Montego Bay, Jamaica, via New York City now, Kaneo Biggs, who is definitely, making waves with his photography work. He's a fashion photographer, and, he's definitely the head of Kaneo Designs. So, we basically want to get into, your work, what inspired you into getting into photography. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing right now.
Okay, well, as Kaneo Biggs, my name, I'm from Montego Bay. Photography is something I've always wanted to do, not from birth or from I was young, but after being in graphics for a while and video, video really is what pushed me to want to do photography, because video is like the motion part of photography. Photography is still. But doing video, yes, you capture emotions, you capture movements and all those stuff. But I've always, when I'm editing, I always like pause the frame to capture that moment, that emotion. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to always have to play a video and pause the frame. It's better to take that shot and you have that still frame forever. And it really pushed me into doing photography along with my love for fashion, because back in college I used to do graphic tees and all those stuff. So I had a love for fashion, so both played a part in me.
Are you aspiring to be a designer? Are you going to get back into doing a designer thing?
I've thought about it a few times. I will. Honestly, I will. But after I reach where I want to be in photography and probably have more help with regards to assistance, then I'll do fashion. But probably I'll just stick to like graphic tees as I've always done. Because, we can do everything, and I love to appreciate other stuff from outside rather than inside. So I'll leave it to all those great designers.
All right, so as stated earlier, you're from Montego Bay, Jamaica. How long has it been since you've been home, and how long was it you've been living in New York?
Okay, I've been home last Easter, and I've been in New York since '08. I travel back and forth between here and Jamaica, but since last Easter, I haven't been back since then because of work and all those stuff. So, being in fashion and photography, you don't have a set schedule like a 9-to-5 job, so you can say, okay, then I'll take off, I'll ask for a vacation. No, if a client contacts and say, hey, I need it for this day, and you make bookings, it's kind of hard to really pull back on that rather than going to your boss and say, hey, can I get these days off? If you book a client, you can say, hey, guess what? I'm planning to take a vacation. We can't shoot that day. You don't want to do that because that's...
So let's talk about like the transitional period, like as far as like coming in from Jamaica into New York. Like, what's the difference? Were you doing photography when you were out in Jamaica? And like, is it a different feel for like the work you've been doing in Jamaica compared to the work that you do now here in New York?
Photography, I did a few because most of my friends are female friends, and from graphics and stuff, they always like my work and they always want to take pictures. I said, all right, fine. I borrowed my friend's camera, and I did take their pictures, and they loved it. So I was like, it's something I can really do. But the market here in Jamaica is here, two separate apart. Yes, you have great fashion designers there, great models, but sad to say the market, not there. You have major events probably once a year, but no. But the work here is a lot different. New York is a fashion capital, so it's in food, dress, walk, everything. Fashion is everywhere. So it's a totally different market. And I've grown a lot, like probably 90%. I would give 10% there, 90% here, because all my photography work is basically here. So, yeah, I've grown a lot since I'm here.
So we want to talk about some of the, folks you work with. Of course, you work with Grizel Rosario, Naomi from the Real World, and of course, two designers that we had here on Vocab magazine, the Fabric Twins and Dramatic Fanatic. Like, who are some of the designers and makeup artists and stylists that you're looking or aspiring to work with now that you're based here in New York?
I mostly wait on people to contact me to work rather than reaching out. What I want to do, though, is probably be in the same league as the top photographers who, they are really sought after. I mean, I love designers, Mark Echo, those type of edgy, creative stuff, Louis Vuitton, those. But, I mean, to say I want to work with them is kind of hard because, I mean, sometimes when you do that, you have your mind to say, okay, then I want to work with those people. And sometimes there are other people who want to work with you where you're going to say, no, no, because I'm going that direction. But, I mean, my main aim is to be one of the top photographers so that I prefer them to say, I want to work with Kaneo than Kaneo to say, I want to work with them. So I just take it in that direction.
Absolutely. I know you focused on the work and things like that. And as you can see, we sitting here in the studio for Kaneo Designs. We spoke a little on your photography work, but we also want to talk about the aspect of the other things you're doing, like Elements Magazine. I know you're the CEO of that magazine as well. What are some of the things you're looking to do with that?
The main thing I'm looking to do with that is making it, all right, it's an online magazine right now. But I've thought about making it print, but I've pulled back that idea based on the fact that it costs a lot to print, and we are moving forward in generation in regards to technology. Because I watched the Adobe seminar like a few weeks ago, and they are making platforms for digital magazines, and Vanity Fair is on board in making their magazine an online digital magazine. So after seeing the direction where it's going, it makes sense for me to say, oh, you know what? I'll wait on those print magazines to think about getting digital. I will go digital from now. I'll go ahead to see if I can grab that part of the market first until they change over. Because, they're the big dogs, so once they come over, you have to make way for them. So it makes sense to put your name there first. But with Elements, we feature great photographers from all over the world, because even though we're based in New York and my other partners in Canada, we try not to say, okay, New York, Canada. We have people submitting from Dubai, from the Caribbean, from Canada, and other parts of the world. So we're just trying to expose the work of other photographers and designers and makeup artists who don't have the opportunity to get their work in bigger magazines or so. Because, magazines and companies have to start from somewhere. They didn't just get big. So, starting small, probably a year, 2 years from now, you might be a huge magazine. You don't know, but it's always better to think positive and say, okay, it will be big. But that's what we're doing for Elements right now.
All right, so let me ask, with you, knowing the work that you can do for others, when it's time for you to get photo shoots done for yourself, who is it behind the camera for you?
For me, I'm behind the camera.
So you take pictures of yourself as well?
Oh, for me, it's sad. It's sad because one thing I always say every day is photographers take so much pictures, but you don't see any pictures of them. And I'm like, I have one friend that I grew up with all my life. He's the one that always takes pictures. He's back in Jamaica. And honestly, since I left Jamaica, I can't say I've taken pictures because we were that close. So like Sundays, I'll go over to his house or I come over and we just take pictures. And honestly, most of the pictures I have are from those times when I take pictures. But I'll take pictures once in a while, but I prefer to be behind the camera than in front of the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, who were some of the, or if there are any, photographers that you kind of like that kind of inspired you to do what you do today?
Michael Barker.
Say that again? I'm sorry.
Nigel Barker, sorry.
Oh, Nigel Barker. Oh, okay.
Nigel. I mean, there are a lot of other photographers out there that inspire me, but he inspires me a lot because those other photographers, yes, you see their names, but you don't see them. So I might call names, but honestly, I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they're like personally. I just know their work. But him, I see his work. You see him on TV. You go out, you see him. So I prefer to not just accept people's work, but I prefer to know them. So when I see their work, I can say, okay, then he's this type of person. That's why he does this type of work. Or you can put the work and the person together. So he inspires me a lot.
Nature, like when you're going out on the town for your leisure time and things like that, what are some of the things you like to wear to, make yourself stand out with your fashion sense?
This is what I like. Just a nice long sleeve shirt. I wear graphic tees a lot. But dressing up, it's bad, honestly, because I haven't in a while. So it's crazy that I can't really tell my fashion taste or style now. But I will get to it at one point. I mean, work is more important to me now. I put myself together well, but relates to fashion, I haven't grabbed onto the fashion here yet. It relates to myself.
What's the definition that Kaneo would come up with when he hit the 3 words, beauty, swag, and fashion? And in your terms, define those 3 words.
Okay. Together, they'll be inside. It's you, who you are, personally, how you interpret it by yourself. But my definition for beauty first would be looking beautiful outside, but first you have to be beautiful inside to be beautiful outside. Because you can be the most beautiful person ever if you have a bad personality that shadows what you look like. So, I mean, everybody won't love you for who you are, but being beautiful inside, it will have more people accepting you for who you are, and you will look beautiful to everybody. Swag is, again, who you are. Because your swag can be considered as swag for everybody. My swag might be. But, I mean, if it's my swag, it's my swag. But it's who you are. It's portraying who you are, what you believe in, how you see the world, and how you like the world to see you. So fashion would take in, yes, how you dress, your confidence, and all those stuff.
All right, well, we know, you're a busy individual. We ain't going to take up too much of your time. We definitely want to say thank you for taking the time to, come sit down and talk with Vocab magazine and, be featured in our photography issue. So, we're going to give you the opportunity now to let, everybody out there that's getting more in tune with Kaneo Biggs and Kaneo Designs and things of that nature, the platform. You could give them the platform to where they can see your work, get more in tune with you.
Okay, my website is kaneodesigns.com, KANEODESIGNS.com, Facebook.com/Kaneo Designs, Twitter.com/Kaneo Designs. So those are the main platforms you can get to me.
All right, well, there you have it. Kaneo Biggs for Kaneo Designs. Looking forward to seeing more for that Elements magazine for all the photographers out there as well. And as always, this is your host, Mr. Vocab TV, Talik, for Vocab TV, Vocab magazine, where beauty, swag, and fashion is always our lifestyle. It's time to make it yours. Until next time.
Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, you fancy, huh?